Hello, welcome. Today we are going to talk about abstract art and then how to draw using a grid. So we talked about how we can make something abstract by zooming in. We can see that our flower is going off all four edges, so we can't see the whole flower, so that's one way to make something abstract. So we're going to draw this flower using the grid paper that you were given, and I'm going to show you the line version that you also have. So you have the line version and you have the picture version. The line version is to help you draw just the lines, the outlines of the flower. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is just draw my lines here so you can see you already have your lines drawn on your paper. Okay, so we have to match the lines drawn between so that we're going to draw using the little squares. So we'll draw one square at a time, and that will help us draw our picture accurately. Okay, so we are making it abstract in that we're zooming in, but we are trying to draw it realistically, and this is why we're using the grid. Okay, so you can see I have a grid here, and my grid matches the grid that's on my paper. Okay, so what I'm going to do is take one square at a time, and you're going to just draw one square at a time. So you'll find where does that enter my square. Okay, so it looks like it enters right here. And then where does it exit my square? Okay, it looks like it exits right at the top of my square. So I'm going to draw a little line there. And then I'm going to follow this line that I see. So I go up a little and then do kind of a squiggly line over. Okay, so that is all I'm going to draw in that square. And then I'm going to move on to the next square. Okay, and if you look at my picture here, this line comes all the way down and into this flower like this. Okay, so I'm going to just make that a little bit darker, and I'll draw that line. Okay, so my line enters at the corner here, and then this is about halfway through my box here. This other line, if this is halfway through it, kind of over a little bit, it comes down, and then if we look at our whole square, okay, this point is a little bit above halfway, kind of over to the right. So I'm going to find that point where my two flowers meet. Okay, and then this flower goes on top and curves around like this, and then exits my square about here. So draw where it exits the square. So you should have kind of a squiggly line like that. And then over in this square, we see this little shape here, and then all the little things, but we can do those little things at the end. Okay, so we're going to have just a really simple shape going through here, and then it's going to be a little circle there and a little circle like that. Okay, and then that's all the information that's in that square. So then we'll move on to this square, and we see our line enters our square at the top, kind of dips down and does a curve there, and then it curves out again, and then it comes over and does a little dip there, and then it exits about there. Okay, and then you can see it comes almost all the way down to the end here, curves around in that tiny little square there. Okay, so that's what I just drew. Right, so that is our top of our paper. So now we're going to move to the middle of our paper. And if you want, you can even just bend that paper down so that's all you're seeing, okay? So let's draw the middle part. So if we start again on this side, and we line up our squares, our line is gonna be about there, and it's gonna exit pretty much straight across, okay? So it's gonna come, do kind of a little squiggly line, make it look like a flower, okay? There's our line. And then it's gonna come over, I'm gonna just darken up this line just a bit. Okay, this is a really bumpy line, but you can see it enters right here and it exits right here. So we gonna go up just a little bit and then down and then over, down again, bump, and down again, and then we're gonna go up and around, and then that's where the line that connects into that will come. Okay, so that's going to be the little part of the inside of the flower there. Okay, so we just drew this line right here, and then we can see this line connects down here. So we draw that line. So now we have that big petal there. Okay, so we drew this part of our petal. Now we're gonna come over here, and if you can see this part right here, it's gonna come up and connect to that part of our petal. Okay. And then over here in this little box, this is part of the petal that we will draw. Let's just double check. It's this part right here. Okay, so that petal goes all the way down into this area. Okay, so we need to draw that. So this is going to start right here at this box and then exit the box right there. So we draw a little curvy line, and then we're going to draw this box. We'll see where our line enters and exits the box. Enters here, exits a little bit lower down, kind of flat, then it bumps up, and then it curves down, and then this just cuts off this little box right here, cuts down and off the page. Okay, so I think we've got this. Let's see, this petal looks like it's behind that little stem there. Okay, so we won't see that part of the petal. And then we just have to do the last 5 boxes at the bottom. Okay, so I'm going to bend that down again so we're only seeing this part of our flower. Okay, so if we held that like that, it would create the flower. So we're going to draw this part in. Okay. So, let's see. Oh, you know what? We didn't draw. We drew this squiggly line, but we didn't draw this line right here. So we forgot a part. So we're going to have a little line that comes in and out of our square right there. And it's going to go up and underneath that petal. And then that line will be continued right here. Okay? So it's going to go all the way down, and then it's going to end right about here. Okay, so we're going to just draw a bumpy line. Okay. And then there's nothing in this square, so we're going to finish drawing our little bump right here. And then this, I guess it does look like there's a little bit of a bump there. So this is going to cut off that corner there. And it's going to come up in a little curve and then down. And then it's going to exit about here in our paper. Bumpy edges there. And then the other edge of our petal looks to be, the edge goes there and it connects in right there. So there you have it. This is a abstract, realistically abstract drawing of a hibiscus flower. And then we're gonna leave it like this. You can take an eraser and you can erase those grid marks, which these marks right here, because we don't need those anymore. But make sure you don't erase your drawing, because that's gonna help us know where to put the color. So we just need very few lines because we don't want too many lines or else we'll see a lot of pencil. We don't want to see pencil because we're not going to use pencil to color. We are going to use oil pastel to color. Okay, so all of you should end up with a flower drawing that looks like this, with petals and the little inside part, ready to add some color using oil pastels. Good luck!